What's up, fam? We're on I think we're on like episode 47 or something. I'm not even sure what
Oh my
episode we're on
God.
anymore. Like
Awesome.
we've done a lot. Like I've been doing a lot. I'm gonna leave the phone there. Like screw it. The main show's right here. We got Paul and Michelle on. They're amazing guys. If you don't know, you're about to get into a whirlwind of craziness hearing their story. They're amazing. They are astro leaders, astro flipping leaders. They're like doing the rounds, doing commercials and stuff. They're absolutely incredible. So how you guys doing?
Oh man, we are doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing all right. I love how you guys came on. How many podcasts you ever been on?
We just started like agreeing to be on podcasts this year. We said no to a lot
Amazing.
of people last year.
So just a
Right.
couple.
A few. Yeah, we were just like, you know what? Let's just say yes to our favorite people. You're
Oh, I
one.
love it. That makes me feel special. That means I'm one of them, so that's good.
Yes, you are.
I love it. So cool. All right. So let's get into the story a little bit because that's usually how I start, is just getting into your guys' story and like start getting into like how you guys got into astro flipping and all of that. So to start off, like how'd you guys end up in real estate? I love the Steve Trang question.
You want to start off there?
It's your story more than it's mine.
I guess. Cool. Well, Paul and I both have 10 years each of experience in network marketing. That is where we started. You know, we're big leaders in the Amway business. And so when we both left the Amway business in 2020, we decided to be digital nomads and start traveling all over. So we ended up selling everything that we owned. We sold our apartment in Denver. We sold our car. And we grabbed two suitcases each, two backpacks each, and we lived in Mexico. And it was mainly because we had a dream of traveling, because when you're in a network marketing business, it's very culty. We realized we were in a cult when we left, so we couldn't travel when we were there. We were grinding it out, trying to hit the ranks in network marketing. And so me going to Mexico was the first time I ever left the country since I was 8 years old.
Wow. Wait, how long ago was that?
That was last year.
Oh my God.
Last year.
How crazy was that?
It was fantastic, you know, and it was a dream come true for us. That's all we've ever wanted to do. One of the reasons why we got started in Amway was to travel. That's what they painted, right? They painted the vision that, you know, when you hit these ranks, you're going to be able to travel and have so much time and freedom and money. And we're like, yeah, that's what we want. But we didn't experience that. We were just grinding and hustling and trying to hit the ranks and all of the things. So we ended up going to Mexico and we were just living life, truly. I was collecting unemployment and I had little side hustles. I had a social media company. I had a fitness company.
So this was last year. This was 2021?
2021, yeah, right? Early February, March, early 2021.
Okay. And so you realized you didn't like the Amway. And then how'd you even hear about real estate?
Yeah, so we were actually in Mexico just living our life. I had a credit repair business. So a lot of my clients were real estate agents. And so when I was helping them fix like real estate agents will give me their non-qualified buyers that didn't qualify for a mortgage or whatever because of their credit. They would bring them over to me. I would, you know, build a relationship with them, help them build their credit. 3 months later, I sent them back to these realtors and they were so grateful. And they were like, oh my gosh, you should totally just do real estate and your credit repair business and kind of combine the two. And oh my gosh, you would be so amazing at being a real estate agent. And I was like, really? Like you're like the second person to tell me that. Then there was a friend of ours who was living in Mexico with us and he was doing real estate. He was like, yo, Michelle, you would be so good in real estate. And then my mom is over here like, Michelle, don't forget to be in real estate. And I'm just like, okay.
Wait, why was your mom saying that?
My mom's always had a dream of me being in real estate. She's always said, she has a Spanish accent. She's like, you got to be in Rialto. Like that's how she said it. So she's always had this dream of me owning properties around the world and like renting them out. And she thinks it's like this easy thing.
Right.
She always like had that vision. And so I'm over here trying to figure out real estate because I'm like getting signs from all over the place. And the first thing everybody does when they think about real estate is they go get their license.
Right.
So I'm over here paid for some class to be able to get my license in New York. And the reason why I chose New York was because that's where I'm from. And that's where all my friends are from. So I was like, might as well get my license in New York, hook up some friends with some apartments, some houses and things like that. And in the middle of me getting my license, Jonah, like doing the classes, I was like, oh, hell no. Like there has to be another way that I can get into real estate, because trying to figure out these classes and these lingos, and it was the worst, honestly. So that was like my entryway there. And then one night I was just hanging out in Isla Mujeres, chilling with Paul, and I see this ad called Women Real Estate Investing Network. And I was like, that sounds really awesome.
Better.
And it was like a 7-day masterclass for $25. And I was like, take my credit card information, like, here you go. And on day one, it was on wholesaling. And I was like, oh, this sounds easy. Like, what? You know, he was talking about door knocking and cold calling. I was like, yeah. There's probably an easier way to do that. But the way that she was like talking about wholesaling, I was like, I could totally do this. Day 2 was on like the Burr method. Day 3 was on investment and like flipping, and it just kept on. But day 1 really caught my attention. So one of the things she talked about was like networking with people, we call it squatting up and all that stuff. So I'm networking like crazy on social media, meeting wholesalers, meeting buyers, meeting agents, like all the things. And one of the people that I met when I was networking was Eric Pinuelas, which we both
boy. My guy.
We went to his wedding. Like,
yeah. For everyone to know, Paul, Michelle, and I were at Eric's wedding. He's a great friend. He was on like episode 3 of the podcast. Like, I think he was one of my first like actual friends, I would say, in real estate, because he's around. He is either my age or like a year older. Yeah. And then also we have what?
He's younger than me, which I find wild. He's like a mentor to me, and I'm just like, how are you younger than me? You're like a wise man.
Yeah, I love Eric. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So yeah, I connected with Eric, and Eric was my mentor. He helped me, guide me with this deal that he had. I didn't realize it was a micro flip back then, but he had a deal under contract that he needed help selling. And with all the networking that I was already doing, I had like a 50-person buyers list just off of social media. And after this masterclass, and he was like, yeah, just share this deal, sign this paperwork. It was a non-exclusive. And I was like, it says that I'm going to buy this house. What are you
explain to people real quick what that is?
Basically, it gave me the right to market the deal that he had under contract.
Love it.
CYA, but at the time I thought he wanted me to like buy the property and wanted me to like sign paperwork to buy the property. And I was so nervous and like all the things, but he was just so patient. But as I'm like displaying his deal and trying to sell his deal, he realized that I was really good. I was really good at talking to these buyers, negotiating, bringing him feedback and all the things. I just didn't know lingo. I didn't understand what earnest money was. I had no idea what close of escrow meant. I had no idea of any of that stuff. Mind you, this whole time, Paul is working his W-2 job, living his best life in Mexico. And I'm just like figuring this out on my own.
So wait, hold on. Just because I need to understand exactly what's going on. All of this is happening in Mexico. So the real estate event was online?
Yeah, the real estate
event. So then you immediately start trying to virtually wholesale in Colorado?
Yeah.
Why Colorado?
Well, we were living there. Well, Paul was living there for 2 years. And then when him and I started dating, I was living in New Jersey, and I moved to Colorado to be with him because we didn't want to do long distance.
Okay.
So then we lived there for like 3, 4, 5 months together.
Okay.
And so I was just like, well, I live there. Might as well do Colorado.
We flew back from Mexico to Colorado right around this time.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, because we realized time to become nomads. So we went back to put all of our stuff in storage and get rid of my car and stuff.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So as I'm helping Eric display my deal and all the things, he's like, man, you're really good at this. Like, you just need a little bit of help, a little bit of guidance, because obviously you're new. I have this really great coach that I think you guys can really vibe. And I was like, hell no.
Wait, why? Why'd you say that immediately?
Well, because I had so much trauma of having mentors and coaches in my life because of our experience in Amway.
Amway.
Yeah, my mentor in Amway was a complete narcissist, took control of my finances, my money, used my family as a manipulation tactic to hit ranks. Paul's ex-mentor was a psychopath, literally like, has all the qualities of a psychopath. And so anytime I hear mentors, I just think of like this big person trying to take over my life. And like, I just had this vision of like another human God figure person that was going to come over and take over my real estate business, because that's what happened in my Amway business. My ex-mentor literally took all the hundreds and hundreds of people that I recruited, took it all under me. I lost everything. I lost my income, I lost my team. I lost a decade of friendships that I built, that we both built, and they just took it away because I decided to focus on me and what I really wanted instead of like keep trying to hit the ranks and use and abuse people. So as soon as he said mentor, I was like, hell no, dude. Like I will pay you for your time. Like I just rather work with you. And he was so patient and so kind about it. Like he didn't push me or try to like recruit me to be an astro, you know. He was just like, okay, you know, I'll still help you. And so we just kept working, and he had deals and I would try to sell them. But again, like there was so many things that I just didn't understand because I was so new in real estate. I had literally no idea what I was doing. So we go back to Colorado to basically go sell our things and put some stuff in storage, say goodbye to his family because we were going to go see anybody for a while because we were going to start traveling. And I'm in Colorado just so frustrated because I didn't have infrastructure. I didn't have no understanding what I was doing. So I low-key started researching and stalking Jamil.
Right.
And I listened to, at the time, you know, last year, Jamil didn't blow up as much as he is now.
He's been blowing up especially a lot this year. Like it's been crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been watching his Instagram following, but it went from like 20,000 to like 140,000 or something like that.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
He's gone crazy.
Yeah. So when I was looking him up last year, there was like a handful of podcasts with him on, not a lot. His Instagram was pretty popping, you know, he had the blue check mark. So there were some things that crossed off from my list, you know, and a lot of the podcasts that I was listening to Jamil in, I'm a low-key therapist. Like I'm really good at reading energy. I'm really good at like seeing and like looking at people's eyes, seeing body language. Like I can read all that. Like if I'm some type of good witch or something. So I was just studying him, like, like looking at body language, all the things. I was literally waiting for him to crack. Like, I will find what's wrong with this man.
I will find what makes him crazy.
Yeah. And then I started looking up Josiah, who is his business partner. And then I had a heart-to-heart with Eric. And I was just like, you know, I really don't want to connect with a cult like for community. Like I'm not here for community. I'm here to make money. I really don't want a God figure person in my life ever again. Like I'm the type of person, I am going to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Is this man just going to have a good course that I can just be a good student, follow the program and get results from the program and all the things? And Eric was like really helping me understand who Jamil is as a person, you know, what the program was about. He sent me photos of him with him. Like he was really making me feel calm, relaxed. And so he did such an amazing job that instead of me going through like the sales marketing that they have for Astro, he connected me with like the director of enrollment for Astro. His name is Jeff Taylor. He is wonderful.
Eric's here.
There's our guy.
There's
our guy, dude. We've been talking about you for the past like 10 minutes.
I know.
You're talking about her origin story or your guys' origin story. So
This is an old photo.
this is the guy. He's an amazing guy. Look him up on Instagram. I bet you can just look his name up, or if he puts it in here, I'll like put it on the broadcast for a second. Great guy to connect with.
Yes.
Amazing guy. So
so he connected me with the director of enrollment of Astro, and they basically was like, if Eric referred you, like we're gonna take good care of you. So they went through the whole 6 weeks of the program and what it consisted. They sent it to me in writing. He made me feel super comfortable. You know, they charged me, they did all the things. And then when Jeff Taylor was like, don't worry, you're going to crush it, especially if you were referred by Eric. He said great things about you. And he was like, you continue to go through the course. You do 4 weeks, like it's 6 weeks, but by the 4th week, you should close your first deal and make 15 grand, pay off the course, you'll be fine.
So
And
I'm going to interrupt you real quick because I want to own in on this a little bit, because I think that's a very common thing where people very constantly are afraid of getting into courses. I actually was also very afraid of getting into Astro back when I was joining. When you were watching Jamil, like what did you see that made it different or than like anybody else you had seen in the past? Like what was the learning from your mistakes in Amway? Like which you yourself said it's like a cult, like, right? Like how do you prevent yourself from joining a cult versus joining a good community? How would you be able to maybe tell for someone who's trying to figure it out?
Well, I'm going to start, and Paul, you have to chime in, because we have gone through therapy, we have gone through healing and all the things that our cult radar is so high. It'll go like all the things. Well, number one, the biggest thing is someone that seeks to be admired is someone that doesn't love themselves or isn't confident in themselves. And that's something that I noticed about Jamil, is that he didn't seek to be admired. You can just, he was already full of love, and he wasn't looking for the limelight, looking for the spotlight. There wasn't even videos of him trying to convince people how amazing he is or how amazing Astro is or anything like that. He genuinely was just sharing his story about what happened to him in 2008, what happened to his family, and why he did what he did. And he was just such a loving, sweet person. So that was the first thing, is just who he was and his character. The second biggest thing, which, people can say all the things that they want to say about this, but the second biggest thing for me is that he doesn't give me like alpha male, godlike figure vibes, if you know what I mean.
I remember you asking Eric you asked Eric that question.
Yes, and I did ask Eric that question, if he's like kind of like a god figure, like, kind of want to take over people's life type of thing. Because there's a lot of mentors out there that they think that they can tell their students what to do, how to do, and they have to the students have to praise them and bow down to them like they're some type of god. Weird. Very narcissistic energy that I get from a lot of these gurus out there. So that was a big thing for me, is character, energy, and who they are as a person. Is there any other things, babe, that we look for?
I mean, those are the main things, especially in that situation. I remember you studying his videos. And I think another big thing is, in any organization, the student is always a reflection of the leader. And so we got to connect with Eric and see he was genuinely a good person who didn't really care if we signed up or not, just wanted to help us. Right. And was just sharing and, came in from that point of view. And I think because that's how Jamil is. He's never trying to force anybody to sign up. He's just like, the value is here and I want to help you. And so I think that really shined through, is the quality and the character of the people in the group and how Eric handled it. Because if Eric came in really hard on it, he would have pushed us away.
For sure.
And I mean, that was really it in the beginning.
Yeah. And then the last thing, which is super important to us, was the leader. Well, the success of the students is also a reflection of the leader.
Right.
And there are a lot of successful Astro students, you being one of them, Eric being one of them, us, Brittany Berryman, Jeff, oh my gosh, Mahmood, Noah, John Galan, like
they're all of them. There are a ton of them.
Dude, there's like, come on. There's so many successful Astro students.
And that's because Jamil's not afraid to share the spotlight and allow others to thrive.
Right. Yeah.
Very cool. Controlling leaders don't allow that because they're afraid to let anybody else come near them.
It's a beautiful community too, in the sense of like, it's cool because like, why I really like having you guys on too, like personally, is because of the sense that I was the one who got Eric, and I definitely helped him out a lot. I feel like I don't know if I was a mentor to him exactly, but like I told you earlier, like he was like one of my best friends in Astro because we're the same age and we lived in the same area, right? So
that's so
it's cool how it spreads, because I also got, I'm gonna shout myself out, I also got Mahmood into the program.
Oh my God.
So like basically all of my wholesaler outreach, like got like at least about half of the leaders of Astro, I would say. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm not taking credit at all, but no, I 100% agree. I 100% agree about this community being so cool in the sense that, like, yeah, you're right. It's not really about Jamil. It's about helping each other out and like growing and stuff like that. So
And that's
I love it.
The place of Jamil is secure in who he is.
Right.
Because only a secure person can do that.
Right. 100%. So, Paul, what are you thinking about this, right? Like, it sounds like Michelle is mainly talking to Eric. She's kind of the one doing the real estate, right? What are you thinking about this while this is happening? Like, are you like, oh no, not again? Like, what's going on in your head?
I mean, that was part of it. You know, Michelle, after leaving network marketing, went right into another network marketing company. And she had all these different side hustles that she was performing in. You know, I remember this is how she'd work. She'd have a breakdown about money and about her business, and then the next day start a new company.
Right.
And so that's how she operates. Like, she doesn't sit around, she finds solutions and takes action. And so she was always looking for something else and the next thing and the next thing, you know, and, you know, at the time she was still taking unemployment. So like, I knew she was going to find something. I thought it was a little crazy. I mean, she had to max out her credit cards to do this. You know, I was, you know, making quite a good income from my job at the time. So, you know, it allowed her obviously to be in that place of knowing like everything would be okay, that she could take that risk. And our expenses were pretty low since we had no mortgage, no car payments because we got rid of all that. So I definitely thought it was a little crazy. And I remember when she started taking the course, just like, what week are you in? How many classes? Like, how far? Like, because I really, she's like, I'm going to get a deal done in week 4. And so I was rooting her on and also checking in. And she was there all day, every day, going through the course, just knocking it out. So I just figured if anyone's going to get it done, she would. I definitely thought it was crazy, but it wasn't my decision. If she would ask me, I would have said, don't do it. But
right. I like that. She didn't ask you. She's just like, no, I'm doing it.
It's my money, so
it's
she
my
can
money.
do what she wants.
Exactly. I'm an independent woman. I can do whatever I want, honey.
Love it. Awesome. So, all right. So continuing with that story real quick, so what happens? So just keep going.
Yeah. So we got started with Astro, and like Paul was saying, we were in Colorado, just like getting ready for our nomad lifestyle. And so I was focusing on Astro from like 9 to 3. Paul was working his job, and then we would go to the gym and then just live life. And I treated it like a company. You know, I let go of 3 of the side hustles that I had just to focus on the course. And by week 3, if anybody is an Astro or is looking to be an Astro, week 3 is really like where they teach you the work, right? And
that's the week.
That is the week. That was the week that I was like taking my time, you know, studying everything. Again, I had already a little bit of experience working with Eric and like the other masterclass that I did. So I knew a little bit of the work, but like Astro had all the infrastructure. They had like timelines. They had like action steps after every video. And like, I was just doing all the action steps. So by week 3, week 4, Eric actually had 2 deals that he had under contract. He sent it over to me, and I brought in a buyer, and we did the whole process. We did all the things. Eric was facilitating with the buyer. I kind of connected them, and I'm just on 3-way with them, listening and learning and all the things. You know, Eric sent me a JV contract, and then he sent the assignment and like all the things. And then the deal ended up closing, and I made $15K and Eric made $10K.
Love it.
That was like week 4, and we were celebrating. Like, I literally could not believe that I closed the deal 4 weeks into the course.
How did that feel, right? Because I can't even imagine. I mean, I know what it felt like for my first deal, which it was mind blowing, right? But I'm curious, like, because like you're taking this risk again, not really sure what's happening. How did it feel once that check hit the bank?
Oh my gosh. For me, it felt, I feel like it was like a secure feeling in myself that I made the right decision, that all the things that I went through in the past was a blessing because it helped me vet this course, this coach, these people that I was newly surrounded by. And it really gave me the confidence that I make good decisions and that I know what I'm doing and that I can read good energy and that I know what it is that I'm doing. When I take risks, I can trust myself moving forward. So that was one of the biggest things. It was just like a self-awareness, self-excitement, understanding of who I am and the decisions that I make. And of course the money, it's not my first time making 15 grand. When we were in Amway, we were making 20, 30K bonuses, you know, but those were yearly. This was monthly.
And that took her 5 years to make that check.
Yeah. 5 years to make that money.
Damn.
And here I am in a brand new industry with brand new people around me. Because again, I had lost all those friends that I had friendships with for a decade. And I lost all those friends. I'm making new friends that I have to retrust, right? And so, you know, the money was so exciting because I was able to send my mom like $2,000-$3,000. You know, I was able to pay off some credit card debt. I was able to pay off the Astro course. I was able to do a lot of things, get ready for our trip to Mexico. Paul had paid for like groceries and stuff. I was able to give him money back for that and like book our flights to Mexico. Like I was able to do so many things. We went whitewater rafting that same day, and we went to go to Red Rocks to watch a movie out there. It was just awesome, and this was like the beginning of what was coming. And
I'm not surprised by her that she got it done, but I was like, what? Like, how did you just make $15,000 sitting in a room? Because I didn't really know what to make of it until I saw her do it.
Right.
And I was like, I saw her do that. And I was like, that's it? That's all you had to do to make $15,000?
Virtual wholesaling is a lot of this.
She never went home. She never met even one person in person.
Right.
It was in our apartment or in an Airbnb. And all she did was she was on phone calls, some texts, and she was, you know, on the course. And then like on Facebook groups, you know, building her buyers list. And that was it. And I couldn't believe that she was able to do that. And that's when I jumped on board and said, well, you got to teach me what to do. And that's when she got me into some Facebook groups and started showing me, hey, we'll build a buyer's list.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, honestly, isn't that crazy though? Like this is also the craziest industry in my, like when I found out about real estate and wholesaling, I'm like, why doesn't everyone do this?
I know.
If you're like somewhat good with human beings, and like I feel like you could make 15K within like, I think like depending on the person, like week 4, if like you're really freaking going at it, but like I don't think I know anybody who honestly was trying who didn't get a deal within 4 months, who was like actually trying every day. Right? Like no matter what the personality is.
That was definitely Paul. You know, I had to teach him and I taught him everything, and it took him about 4 months to get his first deal.
It took me 4 months to get my first deal. Right. Like, so like, yeah, like, I mean, it's just still, it blows me away, this industry, that like you can make so much money doing literally just being in your home. Like it is a lot of work, but it's also just like a formula that's already been created for you. Right. It's not like we're making Facebook here. Like it's just, we're following the formula that's been set before us. Right.
Right. Exactly.
Which I love. So sorry, keep going, Paul.
No, that was it. I was just saying that she started teaching me, and I jumped in, and I had no idea what I was doing whatsoever. But I figured I could go on Facebook and build buyers lists, and I did that for I think a few weeks, and then I started doing wholesaler outreach and connecting with wholesalers. And I mean, I remember the first time I almost had a deal happen like a few weeks in, and I just had no idea what I was doing. But I was connecting, you know, the wholesaler with the buyer and trying to get it to go through. And then of course they backed out. You know, it was just I just was so excited and so nervous because I was like, Michelle, what do I do? It was cool. And it took me quite a few months. Michelle was in the Colorado market. I jumped into the Tennessee market. I was in Memphis.
So you guys weren't together business-wise yet?
No, we were doing it.
You still aren't? That's what I was curious about. Like, do you guys technically have 2 separate businesses?
We're running the Arizona market together, which is our first time learning how to work together. We work so differently that it's been better to work separately.
Yeah.
Interesting. That I didn't know. I actually didn't know that. Because, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense because you guys aren't married, right?
No.
No.
Yeah, okay. So, but like that's cool. So all right, I didn't know that. I thought you guys were business partners. So that's interesting. So you started in the Tennessee market, you said?
Mhm.
Okay. How was that? How was it like? So going more into it, you start building a buyer's list in the Tennessee market. Um, I'll start with you, Paul. Like, what are your initial struggles? Like, what is the hardest part for you starting off doing wholesaling?
Well, I think just got to say Memphis, I think, is a really good market for new people to start in, just because the properties are really cheap. There's a lot of really inexperienced wholesalers who don't know how to dispo. So there's a lot of opportunity there. And there's a ton of buyers. And like I said, the prices are low. There are a ton of challenges, though, of course. So what were my initial challenges? Let's see. Number one is I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So I have marketing background, so I just focused as much as I could on building a big buyers list, getting emails, connecting with buyers, and then connecting with wholesalers and seeing if they'll JV with me, or if I can help move any of their properties. And a big struggle was finding people that would partner with me. I didn't know how to comp properties then, so I had no idea how to value the properties. So that was another big struggle. It was just me like seeing if I could get somebody to JV and then email blasting it out and then hoping if somebody responds and not really having any idea if it's a deal or not, but just kind of hoping. The first deal that I ever ended up doing actually ended up being through New Western. Was just a land deal that I got from a wholesaler that assigned it to me, and then I assigned it to New Western, and I ended up making $5,000 off of it. And they
Nice.
2 lots up in the suburbs of Nashville. Actually, ended up over there because I was only doing Memphis, so anything in Middle Tennessee I just gave to New Western because I didn't know what to do.
Nice.
But that was the first easy one. I had a challenging one where I got connected with another wholesaler who brought me a property, and I connected him with another wholesaler who I thought was a buyer but was a wholesaler, and he actually had a friend who was looking to move to that area, so we sold it to the end buyer, but they were doing an FHA loan, which I was so naive, I didn't think that this would be hard. So I guess that's the only reason it even happened, because I didn't even think it would be a challenge, because I didn't know what that meant. So we went through that whole process. It went 3 months after closing.
Oh no.
My partner had to invest $10,000 of his own money to fix up the property to get the loan approved, before the loan officer would approve it, and the appraiser would approve it. Gotta block the sun here. And then we actually had to get liens on the property because FHA loans, you can't have assignment fees. So the title company put liens on the property for us, mechanical liens, since we actually did fix up the home. And this was a hoarder home. So first we had to empty it out. So like the appraiser went, it was hoarder, couldn't do anything. We had to clear out the whole home, finally cleared it out. Appraiser went back, okay, you got to fix all this up. Okay, we fixed it all up, took forever. Appraiser comes back, all the electricity is not run. Okay. And we had to keep paying the appraiser to come back. And then eventually, finally, they approved it, and everything went through, and it was the most crazy situation. And I made like $9,000 from that deal. And then at the same time, I got this land deal in Memphis that was like potential of 20 lots from a wholesaler that didn't have any developer buyers. So I got under JV with him, emailed it out. One of my buyers wanted it. They were looking to develop some land. This was in a Memphis suburbs, and he ended up taking it. He ended up taking it for the price we had it at. We had to negotiate the price down. Ended up making $40,000 that we each split. So made $20,000. And then right at the same time, another wholesaler brought a property that was out in Eastern Tennessee where I knew nothing, but I ended up, I had a multifamily buyer that wanted it. It was an 8-unit. And I actually was about to get it to him, and then that wholesaler sold it to somebody else.
Oh, no.
we kept following up.
Yeah.
And because of that follow-up, I kept following up. Nope, it's still going through, still going through. Finally followed up right before it's supposed to close. And he said, all right, they fell through at the last minute because it's too much rehab. So I said, don't send it to anybody else. Called my buyer, got him there like a couple days later. He got in. Eventually, we ended up making $70K that we split. So
wow.
I got that one. And that was all the matter of my first 6 months while still working full time, while traveling full time in Mexico and all these other places.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much because also you guys are traveling like constantly, right? Like you're not in one place. You're like moving around to like different areas, like Mexico. Was there anywhere other than Mexico and Denver?
Yeah. So we lived in Mexico for 7 months last year. So that was really where we mainly stayed at. Then of course we went to Florida and things like that. But our biggest trip this year, 2022, was for my 30th birthday. We did 30 days around the world.
Whoa.
So, yeah, we went to Dubai. We went to Maldives.
I saw the Instagram stories. Those were they looked pretty sick.
Yeah, we went to Italy, and then we wrapped it up in Mexico, and then we came to Arizona.
I love it. So has that always been the goal? Is just make a business that makes enough where you can just travel and do whatever you want? Has that always been the goal?
That's always been the goal. Even when Paul and I started dating, we shared what our goals were, separately and as a couple. And we talked about like what we wanted our lives to look like. And that was the number one thing we said, is that we want to be full-time travelers. We don't really want to own a home right now. We don't want to own cars. We don't really want to have kids right now. We just want to be free birds and travel. And one of the qualifications for me to be his girlfriend was to renew my passport, because I was going to need it. So yeah, it's always been the goal. It will always be the goal, because we just love it. We've been living in Arizona for 2 months now, and we're itching. We're like, we just booked a one-way ticket to Greece, and we're like, yeah, here we go again. So
I love it. I love it also because I get the sense, because we don't think like Jamil is a god, but we idolize him in the way that he's made this community, right? In some ways. And I feel like too many people sometimes feel like they need to be Keegly, or they need to make a Keegly and constantly be like eventually doing TV shows and doing like, just traveling and speaking everywhere, growing like a huge business, when I really like you guys as an example of like, no, it's the whole point of this. The amazing part of it is you do what you want to do with life.
Yes.
And that's the coolest thing about wholesaling and real estate in general.
Yeah, definitely. And it could be because Paul and I already lived that life, being in Amway and speaking, in different meetings and conferences and events. And, we had the people that looked up to us and wanted our autographs and would chase us to the bathroom to try
to. Is that really how it was at Amway?
Oh yeah.
Wait, talk about that a little bit. Wait, how was it? Because you guys were like crazy good performers, or like what was happening there?
Yeah, we just did a lot of firsts. Like I was the first single, at the time I was single, first single woman to hit one of the levels called Q12 Ruby, which basically is 15,000 volume points, which is
sounds like a video game.
Yeah, I know, right? So I was like one of the first to do a lot of things. We were also really young. Like Paul achieved crazy level when he was in college. He built hundreds and hundreds of people team in Jamaica while being in the United States. So, we were like one of the first young students and people to do a lot of things that they've never heard of. So, of course, anybody would be inspired and kind of look at us like these celebrities within that.
What did you like about that, and what did you not like about that? Sounds like you mainly didn't like it.
Well, at the time, I feel like, if you want to get really deep into this, at the time I was really ego-based. Like my ego loved recognition. My ego loved edification. It fed off of like just attention. It fed off of like being on stage and getting recognized, and my ego loved that. And I was really ego-based for a really long time. Like, I desperately needed that attention for my confidence. So whenever like my mentor would like talk about me to people, or I would get recognized and go on stage and like people were like, ha, you know, and I'm on stage and I literally feel like I'm the queen of the world. That is all ego driven.
Right.
It's kind of like cringy thinking back about it because it was all ego driven. And so when I surrendered and I just let it go, right? And I just like lived for God and lived for me. And I let God lead my life versus like, and, you know, and I found the confidence within myself versus getting it from, you know, a human, a man, you know, a person. When I found that understanding of who I am as a woman, I didn't really need the accolades anymore. I didn't need to go on stage and feel admired by people anymore. I already found the love that I was looking for within myself. I didn't need it externally anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the reasons why today we don't really, if you notice, we don't really go to like events. You know, we'll do virtual stuff like this because I'm literally on a couch talking to you, and this is, you know, like in my pajamas.
I mean, I could add soundtracks where people start cheering or something if you want me to.
You know, it's just because we're just not interested in doing that, you know. We don't need to do that, you know, and we just really want to live a peaceful life. We want to live a want to life, not a have to life.
I love it.
You know, I don't feel the need that I need to have a TV show or like travel, or I don't need to be Jamil. It makes Jamil happy. He's literally living his dream. Every time we hang out with him, he is just so happy, literally living his dream. And we're living our dream. And we're still both successful entrepreneurs in real estate. And so what I love about this industry is that you can literally create the life that makes you happy. If you want to have your own TV show, if you want to do this, then you can do it. But if you're kind of like me and Paul, that we just want to like chill at home, you know, travel the world, hang out with our families, you know, watch movies, watch Disney shows, go to Disney World and just like work 4-hour days, cash out 30, 40, 50K checks every month. Our goal next year is to cash out $1 million checks every month and just use that money to like invest and like give to charity and then travel and like do all the things. Then you can do that too. And it's totally okay, you know?
Right. I love it. So I know this, but tell the audience, like, what's your guys' day look like?
Yeah, they've come back. Paul had to like stop the sun from coming.
Yeah, I had a feeling it had to do with the sun. Did you get it? It seems like you didn't get the sun out at all.
No, it's in the perfect spot to hit me. There's nothing I can do.
Okay.
You get the hat sideways. That's what I do when the sun's in an annoying way. There you
go. So what does our day look like?
Well, it's been shifting. Typically our goal are 4-hour work days.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do. We're getting up between 7 and 9 a.m. And then we have like our morning routine. Then we head to the gym. And we're usually doing between.
What is your morning routine? Like, let's go through it.
Yeah, well, we do a couples meditation. It's a back-to-back meditation. Basically, it opens the back of the heart to the front of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
So both of us come from, I don't know how do we call it? It's like both of us, because of our experience in Amway, some family traumas and stuff like that, both of us have closed our hearts from the back, which sometimes gives it a really hard time to open it from the front. Probably one of the reasons why we're very careful, like who we hang out with and who we surround ourselves with. You won't see us at every event, every party and stuff like that because we're very careful, like who we give our energy to.
Right.
So Paul and I have both been focusing on opening the back of our heart so that the front of our heart opens up. So we literally stay back to back. So we'll do like 10, 15 minutes of that. And then Paul will do his yoga.
Yeah, then I have my own routine. I do a Wim Hof breathing routine, which I really enjoy. Ooh. And then I do my morning stretching.
I think I've heard of that, but what is that?
Well, definitely check him out. But he's all about how using two things, breath work, and then cold plunging as a way to heal my body and to learn to be in complete self-control of my body, where he does crazy stuff where he can be like on the top of Mount Everest in like shorts and like he can be in an ice block and keep his body temperature from going down because he's learned to control that like through his breathing and through like learning to create this inner fire in his body. And so I find that doing breath work is a really great way to ground myself in the morning release any anxiety or thoughts, make myself very present. So I really, really enjoy taking just 10 minutes to do that. You can check out his book, or you can check him out on YouTube. I highly recommend it. And then I follow that with a lot of yoga and just stretching. If I have time, I could do it for 30, 40 minutes. If I don't, I might just do 5, 10 minutes. But I think it's really important to just stretch everything out, get all the muscles warmed up. And then from there, we have either a snack or a breakfast. If we have time, we might be able to sneak in a little bit of work, but usually we're not able to. And then from there, we got a 20-minute drive to the gym. So we're hopping in the car, grabbing everything that we need, and getting over to the gym, right?
Yeah, and then we do about an hour to an hour and a half workout session. We do CrossFit. Shout out to Brittany Behrman. She was the one that inspired us to do it, and we're so grateful she did. And yeah, we do CrossFit classes, and they're our favorite. We've gotten in really good shape because of it. And then after that, we come back home. It's usually around 11:30, and we'll have breakfast together if we didn't have breakfast already. We'll shower, we'll get ready, and right at noon is when we start working, 12 o'clock.
I love it. So you just take a whole morning to personal stuff.
Personal development, yeah.
Love it.
And, you know, we have a team that works for us. So our team, they do start working. Some people on my team start working at 6 a.m. My operations manager, Trey, he starts working around 7, 8 a.m. So while they're working, you know, we're doing our personal development, our personal stuff. By the time we come in, that's when, you know, we start working. And for me, I analyze the deals that we have under contract. So my team is putting out 30 offers a day on and off the MLS, and we're getting about 3 properties under contract every week. So by the time I come into work, I check the properties and I do all the disposition for it.
Love it.
Yeah, and we do usually work from like 12 to 3:30, 12 to 4. And then we just turn everything off, you know, do to-dos for the next day, check everything in. And then we'll go out for a walk, or we'll go do an ice plunge, or we'll do an activity. And then we'll just chill for the rest of the night, movie nights, dinners. Sometimes we go out with friends and all the things. So it's really fun.
I love it. So what are you both even doing anymore? Like what is those 3 hours you're doing? You're just checking up on deals, or like what are you doing?
Yeah. So what are you doing? I know
it's a little bit different. A big thing we both share is we pretty much do all of the dispo for our properties.
Interesting.
So our companies are running where the acquisition side is mostly handled, and then we're doing most of the dispo. I know with Michelle, some of her ACT people are now, like her operations manager, or no, COO now, Trey, is also helping with dispo, but that's not really his focus.
Right.
So we have to run dispo. We have hired somebody to help, but that hasn't really changed much in the game. We're still doing most of it.
Yeah.
For me right now, I'm completely revamping my company. So it's a little bit different. I've been going back to the basics and doing a lot of agent outreach, wholesale outreach, buyer outreach. I know Michelle does a lot of right now, like finding new buyers. You know, it's a little bit different. For me, I'm supporting my ACT team if they need help looking at properties. I'm going through all the properties that wholesalers are sending me. I'm dispoing out or any properties that we get, doing analysis on properties before we send them out, following up with buyers. So that's a lot of what I'm doing.
Yeah, and then for me, like my company is, you know, Paul is in the process of revamping, like he said. For us, we have a lot in the pipeline already. So I'm doing a lot of the selling. So I'm, you know, text blasting, email blasting, following up with buyers, sending assignment contracts, checking in on earnest money, you know.
So why did you guys decide that? Like, why is the disposition part still you guys? Like, why haven't you guys hired, let's say, a disposition?
We're really good at networking, and we're really good at marketing.
And you like it.
And we love it. And
we enjoy it.
And we also have really good relationships with our buyers. I mean, it's been a year that we've done deals with a lot of our top buyers that we're really good friends with. And in our title companies, we're very close with our title companies. And so we really value those relationships. And so it's kind of hard to like give that away. But
I mean, we want to. We haven't found a sufficient replacement yet.
Yeah. So
I get it.
But you know, that just gives us, I mean, it's not a lot of time, you know, and we have amazing business partners. Like Trey is an incredible business partner that like I took 2 days off of work to be with my mom because she was out here, and he was doing the acquisition and the disposition and taking care of contracts and making sure that everything is good. And so we have amazing people that work for us that can take over.
My acquisition manager, Fatima, is just fantastic. You know, I basically make the mess and she cleans it up and is so good at, you know, creating the systems, managing all of our acquisition people, you know, working with all the agents. So I can just focus on my strengths and she can focus on hers. And it's a very symbiotic relationship that works well.
I love it. So I love it. So, what's the next step for you guys? Like, where are you? Like, you guys said you want to be doing, I think you said $1 million a month or $1 million a year or $1 million a month.
Well, let's head to $1 million a year. We just crossed $500,000 if you include all our incomes. I know in real estate it was 400 grand.
It's about 400,000 in a side.
Cool. If I had the bell, I'd be ringing it right now. That's fucking awesome.
And of course, we've been doing some affiliate stuff and, you know, other things. But we've crossed $500,000 in our first year in real estate, which is fantastic.
Amazing.
So for
what was the day you started?
The first day I started, well, I set up my LLC June 23rd, 2021.
Yeah, so you've only been doing this a year. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, his was September because he was still
killing it. Absolutely killing it. I love it, guys. Guys, within a year, you could be making 400K in profit. Just FYI.
Amazing. Oh
it's
my God.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like we aren't here to sell Astro, but like 100% it works. And you don't have to join Astro. You can hit up Paul, Michelle, or me, depending on what market you're in. I will be more helpful in different markets, but yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
We really want to have a 6-figure month. We have not hit that yet.
Yeah.
That's our goal, to have a 6-figure month, and then to build to doing that every month so that we can have $1 million year.
Yeah.
And we really want to build our companies in a way that we can have somebody run Dispo and pull ourselves out completely, where it can be a machine that's running without us. That's really our goal.
That's the next step.
Yeah. I love it. Cool. That's amazing, guys. I love hearing your guys' story, especially just because I have in myself, like I'm torn between my two sides. One of my sides is more towards like the Jamil side of like, all right, let's make like a crazy huge business. And then another side is like, nah, let's make a huge business, but then also just go wherever I want. So it's cool seeing like both.
You can do both.
True.
Yeah, you can do
both. I love it. So cool. I don't know if I even finished your guys' story, but like we started your guys' businesses, did like a couple deals, and then what were some of your guys' growing pains? Like what were like the biggest growing pains you guys can remember? Like the hardest things you had to deal with after your first few deals?
For me, learning to do on-market deals with agents.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked doing it with wholesalers, and it was easier that way. It just sucked that they weren't my contracts. So I finally made the move to start doing on-market deals, and that was really hard for me. I was so scared signing contracts, being worried that I was going to get in some kind of trouble or something, and I found agents intimidating. And so I felt, and shifting through that and realizing that there's nothing to be intimidated about by these agents. It's all a facade, and breaking through that. And then recently, like revamping with this market shift, we've had to terminate a lot of contracts. So adjusting our numbers, finding new agents. So I'm going through it right now to revamp everything. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I guess the growing pain for me, and after the first couple deals, you know, they were kind of sporadic when you first start. It's like you get your first really big deal, and then maybe the next month you don't get a deal, and then you get another deal, and then you get a second deal, but it's like $1,000, and then over here it's like $2,000, and then over here it's like $8,000. So a growing pain for me was creating consistency in the deal flow. That was like pain. And the way that I had to do that was I did have to hire Trey, you know, and when Trey came on board, Trey is my operations manager, which is now the CEO of my company.
Love it.
So he basically runs all the operations, all the acquisition team. They're basically all under him. He oversees all the acquisitions. He goes, sees the property. He goes, meets with the contractors, all the things. He basically runs the business, honestly. So that
Is
was.
he in America? Is he in Colorado?
Yeah, he's in Colorado.
He's in Colorado.
Yeah, he's boots on the ground over there.
Love it.
So yeah, and when he came on board, that's when we started consistently closing 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 deals every single month. And
Love it.
that was a growing pain, was like getting from like sporadic deals to creating a consistent deal flow income machine. You know, as an entrepreneur, you got to make money every month, right? So creating that was a growing pain for sure, and it was awesome once we figured it out.
I love it.
Yeah.
Cool. And then this is just like an interesting question too, because I'm so used to, I've interviewed couples where they are business partners, but like, I'm curious what it's like being a couple, but you guys aren't business partners in a way. Like, is there like any challenges specifically with that, with like living together with another wholesaler? Like, I'm curious. Like, is there anything that I'm curious about? Like, you're dating somebody, but you're not business partners. I don't know. What am I missing?
I think it's great because,
it's great.
You know, while we're not business partners, we're a team and we all want to win. You know, like I just closed, one of my ex people found a deal in Colorado that Michelle sold for me. So like,
love it.
We collaborate and find ways to work together. And, you know, I get a lot of support just watching her. And then it's a very cool energy where we're both working. You know, she's on the phone with buyers and agents and dealers, and I'm doing the same thing in the other room. So it's a very kind of cool entrepreneurial energy, like co-working. It's like we're in a co-working space everywhere we go. So we're always learning and bouncing ideas and venting about crazy agents and buyers and stuff. So I think it works kind of well, you know, and then it also highlights each of us what we're good at and what we're not good at, so we can learn to grow rather than lean on each other, but support each other.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's really great because, you know, I truly believe that independence within a relationship is so important and it's so key. You know, like Paul does not have the pressure as the man in the relationship to provide and to like bring in all the money, and like I just focus on like
I got a sugar mama.
You know, so like there's no competition. When he closes a deal, we both win, and when I close a deal, we both win, we both benefit. And then now there's 2 incomes in the household coming in.
Right.
There's 1. So, you know, there's Tennessee income, there's Colorado income, there's affiliate income, there's Arizona income, there's money coming from all these different places. And we both get to enjoy the fruits of all our labors. It's really great.
Love it. So I have a question for you guys, because this is just a personal one for me, because like I might just go screw off somewhere for a month because you're inspiring me to do it. But I'm kind of curious, like because here's my thing, and maybe it's that I might be at the point in my business where I could do it, but like when you're traveling, like are you still working 4 hours, or do you like work almost nothing? Like are you guys like how does it change? How does your day change if you're in Greece? Guys, they're going to Greece in like how long? 2 weeks?
Yeah.
To it about 2 weeks. So it truly depends, right? Because every trip is different. Okay. So when we're in Mexico, we're in Central Time. So that is that's easy way to work. You know, obviously we'll just probably wake up a little bit earlier, work the 4 hours, and then do all the Mexico things. When we're in Europe, it is a little bit different. And so we will prepare our team to let them know that, you know, we will probably only work like Monday, Tuesday, and then the rest of the week we won't. For Greece, since it is our anniversary, we probably will not work, but we can.
It's for your anniversary though. So that's an extra vacation.
We take some vacation time.
Yeah, we take vacation time. But when it's like nomad time, it's usually when we're like in Mexico or like Disney World, where we can still do all the fun things and still work. Like we lived in Hawaii this year for 2 months, and we were working and doing all the Hawaii things, you know?
It was a little harder in Dubai and Maldives because it was like a 14-hour difference from our work time zone. So as we're going to bed, they're all working. So it was like, it made it a little bit challenging.
So if you want to work and travel and live a nomad life,
try and stay in that time zone.
Stay in the time zone of where you work, or a little bit like central or whatever, within an hour or two, because you can still work and play. If you want a vacation, then let your team know that you're on vacation and you will not be working. You're just playing.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
100% how I like that's what I was thinking was like the thing is because like I went to Europe 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
And it eventually like I didn't have anybody for dispositions yet. So what I ended up having to do, I was like, screw it. Like there's no way I'm going to be able to do any work because everybody's like, I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right. So I had to like, I split the assignment fee with one of my good friends, which was fine because he dispositioned it well. But it was interesting to hear how you guys deal with that when you're going to a place where like people are working when you're sleeping.
Yeah, it was a little tough when we were in Maldives, Dubai, and Italy. It was really rough. I personally didn't work because it was my birthday, but Paul was working. So yeah, it was just like a little all over the place. So I would just be very strategic as to
Latin America basically is where we need to go, guys, or Canada.
America, Mexico, Bahamas, Jamaica.
North or south is the easiest way. Although Hawaii, we made work because it was great.
Yeah,
we just had to be up. We had to be up early, But then we were done by 2:00. Everybody's in bed, so it was like perfect.
Right. I love it.
I know people who in Europe, they just have to adjust. It's like a 6-7 hour difference. So it's just when you're on the other side of the world, it can get a little complicated.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it. People are giving you guys love. I should have highlighted these people. But people are giving you love right now in the comments. So I usually end it with by asking my guest, what's like if you could go back to when you were starting, like right when you were starting, what's the one thing you would tell yourself back then, knowing what you know now?
Don't stop doing what works. When I transitioned from wholesaler outreach to doing on market, I stopped doing wholesale outreach. And I think that was a mistake, that I could have kept doing that, kept making income from that while also doing it. But I made a complete shift, which benefited me in the long run, but I could have kept doing both. That's a good one.
That's a good one. I like that one. That's funny because that's very similar to mine. I tried to do, because what I did, my story a little bit, is that I joined Astro, did a deal, then immediately joined Sub 2, immediately tried to do both at the same time, and then I didn't get another deal for another 4 months, another 8 months, sorry. Like it was like a while. Like I was going like breadcrumbs, and I realized I'm an idiot. I need to stick to one. So I decided to more go Astro, and now I'm doing more Sub 2 stuff now that I'm established. But I think that's one of the best ones, is stay focused on what you're good at. I like it.
Ditto. Same thing. Just don't stop doing what works and staying consistent.
Okay.
Because sometimes you'll close 2, 3, 4 deals, and all that money you're just like, it's like la 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 la. I don't feel like working today. So, just staying consistent with your daily work habits every single day, and I didn't do this, but I would recommend people not to scale too quickly.
Right.
Why?
What do you think? Did something happen there?
Well, I didn't scale quickly.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of people always, obviously, because we have scale now where we have a team, and that's why we only work so little, and because our team is doing the work. I think a lot of people, obviously it's the dream, it's where everybody wants, but I always tell people that the reason why we were ready to scale was because when it was just me and my acquisition wholesalers and my disposition buyers, when it was just us 3, basically, it was a legit steady process that when I brought people on my team onto my company, they were coming into solid grounds. They were coming into a place where they were going to create results because the foundation was good.
Right.
So I would tell myself to keep the foundation, get the foundation stronger and stronger and stronger, and always elevate. And
I love it.
At the right time.
Yeah. And also, like you, how much were you guys working when it was just you guys?
Oh, we were doing full days.
Right.
My gosh, you have no idea how hard. Maybe you do, but working my job and doing this,
right?
It was a light job. It wasn't a hard job, but I would like go back and forth. So my mind was like, mind by the end of the day, my mind was so gone because I was doing like 4 hours in my job and 4 hours in my business in a work day. And I was working super efficiently. So I was so spent by the end of the day.
And it was remote, so thank God for that. But he was like switching screens, switching laptops, you know. So
yeah, because I want people to know, although because we've been just talking about how sick your guys' life is, that also like they had to grind it out at the beginning, right? Like it wasn't like instant success. And also you guys had success in something else, very business related. Like this wasn't your first business venture either.
Not our first video, yeah. So you know, we sowed a lot of seeds in one industry and we reaped it in this industry. And it was 10 years in network marketing for little results, but we still planted a lot of seeds of like, you know, being good to people, growing teams, you know, sharing marketing plan, networking, marketing products, public speaking, you know, training, coaching, one-on-ones, like all the things in this industry. So when we came to the real estate world, we had 10 years of sowed seeds that we planted on fertile grounds, and it just bursted.
I love it.
So it's I always tell people, like, never compare your success or where you are in your life to ours, because you have no idea what we had to go through to get to where we are today. Trust me, you do not want to deal with narcissistic people, losing decades of friendships, traveling to Jamaica 15 times to build an export-import product business.
Oh, damn. I didn't know that. You traveled to Jamaica 14, 15 times trying to build another business?
No, for his Amway business.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you know, you didn't see that. You didn't see my car getting repossessed because my mentor told me to buy the wrong car and
I had
no money. You didn't see me when I was collecting unemployment because I was furloughed from my job because of COVID, and I had a breakdown because once I lost my Amway business, I had no purpose, because I truly felt like my purpose was to help women in the industry achieve this rank and like be a public speaker and travel and all the things. So, you know, never compare it. And comparison is the thief of joy.
Best quote ever.
You know, and everybody is in their life right at this moment. You're right where you need to be. It's our favorite artist always says, "You're always on time when the time is right." And this is our time. This is our time, you know, and this is something we've worked for a really long time. We got an Amway when we were 17 and 18. We're 30 and 34 now. It's been a long time coming, you know. So we are in the season just enjoying the fruits of our labor and sharing it with other people, but never compare. You know, it's everybody is living their dream life at this moment, and if you're not, it's coming. It's gonna come at time, because if we were doing what we're doing now, like 5 years ago, I don't think we would be enjoying it as much or have been the people worthy of what we're experiencing today. Because
I love that.
You know,
I love that concept that you have to put it. I think everyone has to put in their licks, put in their work, right? Like, I think there's like some quote where it's like it takes years to become an overnight success or something like that. Like where it's just like everybody, you just didn't see it, right? Like it seems like the person got successful super quickly. It's like, oh, Paul and Michelle did it in a year. They're already making 400K, traveling everywhere. Like, why can't I do that? It's like, yeah, but you didn't see like the craziness they were dealing with Amway. Like they dealt with that for how long? You said 10 years?
10 years each.
Yeah.
And 13.
13. So like you just never know what's going on in someone's life. So yeah, never compare. Like you're going to get there. It's going to happen. Just keep grinding, keep staying consistent. And I promise you guys, you will 100% be partying with Paul and Michelle in Greece or wherever the hell they are.
Of course. Absolutely. And, you know, it's all about becoming the person worthy of that. You know, I've known Paul for 10 years. Yeah, I met him in Amway, and we had a thing for each other like 5-8 years ago. But now that we've been dating almost 2 years now, we always look at each other like, imagine if we would have started dating like 8 years ago or 5 years ago when we first kind of liked each other. I don't think we would be together right now.
Right.
Because we did a lot of healing individually, and we were single for a long time individually. before we got together. And now we have a very fruitful relationship because of the solitude that we experienced and the growing that we had to do and the healing that we had to do for us to come together and build a really healthy partnership. So everything happened at our time.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we're like 10 minutes over. So, but what are you plugging? Do you want to plug an affiliate? Like, this is like the time of the show where like I can like, how do people reach out to you? Instagram? Like, how do you want the people to reach out to you?
Yeah, so the best way to find us is Instagram. Mine is at Michelle Garabito, my full name. And what's yours?
Mine's at Create Abundance, CR3ATE Abundance.
And everything.
Wait, say that again. Create.
With
the E at the end is the 3, right?
No, the E in the middle is a 3.
Okay.
What's the point of that, Bill?
Because it's a mind, body, soul that I can.
Okay, let's see if I screwed this up or not.
CR3ATE.
Did I do that right?
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's their Instagrams, guys. Hit them up. Tennessee, Colorado,
and Arizona.
Got deals, 100% there. Is there anything else you guys want to promote? Anything like any last words or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, once you follow us on Instagram, I have a link tree in my bio. You can get $500 off the Astro course if you're having trouble paying for the course. We give people discounts for that. Obviously, it is an affiliate link, so we do get a kickback for when you sign up. Just always tell people that. We are affiliates with other companies, so you guys will see that there. And, we're always looking for acquisition people. I know Paul is always looking for acquisition people. We're always looking for deals. Our biggest strength is disposition. So if you do have a deal under contract, that's either your contract or someone you've done a lot of business with contract, you can totally send us a deal either on Instagram or our emails, which is also on Instagram. And we would love to help you guys close them deals.
Love it. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you both so much for coming on. I appreciate you guys again. I hope Greece is amazing, and I'm going to be watching. I know there's going to be some fire Instagram stories on there. It's going to be good, and Instagram posts, so I'm pretty excited. You guys 100% follow them. You can look back in the video if you need their Instagrams again. And I will see y'all next week. It's going to be an early show. We're going to have Jerry Norton on, which is crazy. Wow. I was like, holy Jesus, I can't believe I actually got him.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
As long as he doesn't reschedule, because these big guys have rescheduled on me before. But like I hit him up on Instagram and he said he's down for next week. So that'll be cool. That one is going to be, I think that one's going to be earlier, guys. I think that one's going to be like 12 p.m. PST because he's a busy guy and he can't do it, but it's going to be sick either way. So I'm excited. I hope everyone can be there. Paul, Michelle, you guys are amazing.
Thank you.
I will see y'all next week.
Awesome. Thank you.